name is Janet Hollis, and I'm a visible woman.
I'm Gilda Jaffe, and I am a visible woman.
Hi, I'm Johanna Riquier, and I'm a visible woman.
I'm Sharon Anaja, and I am a visible woman.
Hi, I'm Petra Annabelle, and I'm a visible woman.
Hi, I'm Lullaby Jude, and I am a visible woman. I'm Liz Hobbs, and I am a visible woman.
I'm Francie Jean Lewis, and I'm a visible woman.
I am Stella Lieben, and I am a visible woman.
I'm Mildred Talabi, and I am the founder of Visible Women Tribe. I would love for you to be a part of our community of businesswomen and female leaders who are committed to building a brand where they are seen, heard, and remembered for all the right reasons. Come and join us today. Embrace the sisterhood. Visit www.visiblewomentribe.com to register. Good evening, and welcome to Visible Women on LinkedIn. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Visible Women on LinkedIn. This is season 4. Visible Women on LinkedIn, season 4. This is what we're doing today. Season 4 of Visible Women on LinkedIn, episode number 3, with another fantastic guest today. Now, the trailer that you saw at the beginning of this production is the trailer for Visible Women Tribe, which is our organization, our membership community for women in business who are committed to being visible. That's right. We want you to be seen, heard, and remembered for all the right reasons. Stop hiding your talent. Stop hiding your stories. Stop hiding your gifts. Stop hiding everything that you do. Come and join us at the tribe. Now, Visible Women Tribe sponsors this show, Visible Women Show on LinkedIn. And in case you're brand new to this show, this is the show where I have awesome, inspiring, motivational, educational, and all the other channels conversations with women who are doing amazing things in business and in life. And I would love to invite you to join me on this journey, not only for today's conversation, but for the next 2 Thursdays, because we are doing season 4 up until not the end of August, the 2nd of September. That's the last show. So we've got today, and then we've got 2 more episodes. But I am so happy that you're here, and wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're on LinkedIn, because we're broadcasting live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube, I want you to drop a hello in the comments. Tell me where you're listening from, where you're watching from, and if you're watching on replay, I also want to hear from you. So just put #replay so I know that it's you when I go and check the comments later. But thank you, everybody who's tuned in, and you are in for a great show tonight, because I have an awesome guest for you tonight, and I will tell you about her in just a second. Gilda is in the house over on LinkedIn. Hey, Gilda. Gilda is in the house. Sandra is in the house. Hi, Sandra. Yes, you finally made it. Where have you been? We missed you. And I have a LinkedIn user who says, I am so happy to see you. I'm happy to see you too, but I cannot see your name. So I'm so sorry, but I am happy to see you. So thank you for showing up. Liz is here in the house. Bethan is in the house. We have got all the regulars in the house. If you are a new person, say hello too. We are a great community. We're a lovely tribe of women, so say hello, get to know us, get to know each other in the comments, because that's what it's all about, building those all important relationships that will help you on your journey to being visible on LinkedIn and beyond. So with all of that, we are going to get started tonight, because we have got a great conversation. So as I said, this is season 4 of Visible Women on LinkedIn. Season 1 started in November 2020. If you go on my YouTube channel, just type in Mildred Talabi. I'm not even going to bother telling you what the link is or some URL or something. Type in Mildred Talabi. You will go all the way back to the first season and you can catch up with all the inspiring conversations that we have had so far in all the seasons and all the episodes for this season. So go and check it out. Absolutely. And if you are watching, I want you to react to show that you're watching. Drop a like, drop a heart, drop a whatever you want to drop in the comments and the reactions. But just so I know who's watching, yeah, that would be really, really great, as well as your comments. So today we are going to have a great conversation. It's Tara from Toronto, Canada. Hi, Tara. You're the LinkedIn user. Good to see you. Nafisa's in the house. Robin is in the house. We have got loads of ladies in the house. But we are going to have a great conversation today, and I'm so looking forward to this conversation because the lady that we're about to speak to is a client of mine, and she is an awesome woman in so many ways. Now, her name is Franzie Jean-Louis. That was my best attempt at a French pronunciation because Franzie is an American, but she teaches French to French. She used to teach French, to French professionals and students in France. So she's an American that lives in France. And she is also a former opera singer. Whoa, she has promised we're going to get some vocals tonight. So I cannot wait for that. And then, but what she does now, Franzie specializes in giving women, high achieving women, high performers like herself and like you may be watching this. She specializes in helping them to take care of themselves and develop mental fitness and self-care. Because listen, if you're not well, your business is not going to be well. Can I get an amen? You need to take care of yourself. And that's what she does. She coaches women around their mental fitness and their self-care. But tonight, we are going to talk about the journey to get into where she is. We're going to talk about leaving opera behind to go from opera to coaching. We're going to talk about everything in between. So please help me to welcome to the virtual stage, Franzie Jean-Louis. Franzie, are you there with us? Is my tech working? Is she there? And is my accent right?
That was beautiful French. But I must just make one correction because if those people were waiting for me to teach them French, no. So I was teaching them English. Just, because they're, they're messed up.
Of course. That's the way around. She's teaching them English. Listen, yeah. I got French. I did very well in school, except for French. That was the only subject in school that I got bad grades at. So there you go. Please forgive my lack of pronunciation and all the rest of it. But Franzie,
it was lovely.
Yes. Franzie, we are so excited to have you here. I know you have many fans in the audience, and they're all looking forward to hearing from you today. So I always like to start, right here. Tell us in your own words exactly what it is that you do. Since I butchered it, how about you tell us?
All right,
what is it that you do?
Yeah. So I want to start by saying thank you, Mildred. I am so excited. Like I haven't been able to contain myself. So right now I'm like super cool, but I've been so excited all day. And so what I do is I teach people how to communicate better with others, but also with themselves. So basically, my day job is that I'm a specialized English teacher. I work with master's students, bachelor students in different sectors, journalism, communication, psychology, and I also coach young people from 18 to 30 on personal leadership and self-mastery. And here on LinkedIn, I'm looking to really work with women like me, women who when we do too much, but if we don't do it, we don't feel right, so we've got to take care of our minds and our bodies. And I am passionate about taking care of the mind and the body. And when I say the body, I'm not talking about working out, because no, I'm talking about the body that houses the mind. It's a whole thing that we've got to take care of. Yeah.
I love that. So, and we are definitely going to get into how we go about doing that. But so I like to take it back to the beginning, to where little Franzie. By the way, the name Franzie Jean-Louis. What's the origins of your name?
Okay, so my parents decided that they were going to merge their names together. So my father's name is Franz, and my mother's name is Josie, short. So I'm Francie. So I'm mini me's of two people, and what goes with all of that. Right, right, yeah.
Oh,
So
I love
that's
it. I
Franzie.
love it.
Yeah.
Francie. Okay, awesome. And where are they? Where are they from? Are they American too? Is that your heritage?
No, no, my parents were born in Haiti, but they've been living in the States for, I don't know, 50 something years. I was born in the States, so I'm gonna be 50. Yes, fabulous 50s. Um, so they've been there for over 50 years, but they're Haitian. And it's a strong culture, a strong history that has given me roots in many things in terms of art and music and language. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Haitian roots, language, and you mentioned music. So, growing up, what were you like as a kid? What was Francie like, and what were you into?
Ooh, girl, I was a bad girl. I was all over the place because I loved, when you just love everything. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But I came from a family of my mom was a dancer and my dad comes from Septon is the big group that my grandfather was the lead contrebassiste, bass player and composer. And so I come from a family of musicians, and my mom was a dancer. Um, but I was a round child, very, very round. I was a very round child. I'm still a very round lady. And so I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a ballerina. Like, what girl doesn't want to be a ballerina? And the ballet teacher told my mother very nicely, well, maybe ballet's not for her. So my mom's like, oh, okay. And she put me in her dance troupe, which was a Haitian folkloric dance troupe. And I loved it. I loved being on stage. So if I'm not mistaken, I think the first time I was on stage, I was about 8 or 9, and I was dancing with my mom, who was just magnificent. She was an awesome Haitian folkloric dancer. So I was very lucky to have that experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, first time on stage, 8 or 9. So I'm guessing you weren't a shy kid.
No, my dream was to be a superstar. I'm working on it, yes. That was my dream. I was just like, I'm gonna be a superstar. That's all I want to be. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. So you get into this, you get into dance, and then at that point when you're thinking, wow, all right, I want to be a dancer, I want to be famous, I want to be, was that all of what was going on in your head at that time?
Um, I was also trying to stay out of trouble because I would get into a lot of trouble. So I didn't like school. I hated school. I would not do my homework. I was just bad. I was just bad. But in retrospect, I understood it's because I had learning disabilities. Like I couldn't read well. I couldn't um, do maths well. And that was something that it took me a long time to realize that the learning disability didn't mean I was stupid because I just figured I was just dumb. And I never got diagnosed with a learning disability. It's much later. I was like, hold on a second. I can't read. I love to, like, you see, I've got books. I love to read, but it would take me forever to read. And then my brother also had a hard time reading. I was like, hold on a second. Maybe I'm not dumb. Maybe there was something that wasn't right about how I was learning so. But
Were you
basically,
dyslexic? Were you
yes.
dyslexic? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of us are. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
But I
this
didn't
your
know
older
that.
brother?
Oh, he's my tall baby brother. He is my best friend. Yes, he's awesome.
Okay, awesome. All right, so growing up, were you too close? Was he into music as well,
He
dancing?
he is into music. I think some of my LinkedIn sisters heard music, and he was the producer of one of the best songs ever called "Let Me Go," and he has his own music, and he's just a creative being, and we were very close, and we still are very close. And if I'm on LinkedIn, it's because he was like, you need people, go find your people. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go find my people. And that creativity, that source of creativity, when we're together, it's like just like it's electric. We create together, but he's tough. He will not let me get away with no. He's like, don't do that. You're singing soul music now. Don't do that opera stuff, So he's wonderful. He's wonderful, wonderful.
I love it, and I've heard that song "Let Me Go." I was listening to it actually last night before this, in preparation for this. You have beautiful. Listen, if you haven't heard Franzie sing, afterwards, I'm sure we'll tell you how to find that stuff. But go check her out. You've got beautiful vocals, and it's like this haunting sound that stays with you. It's like whoa. Tingles, but anyway, so but that's not what you do today. Jeez,
wonderful.
But okay.
Wonderful.
All right, so how did your career path develop from then? So you didn't like school, you loved dancing, you loved performing, you wanted to be on show. Right. What next? How did your career and education develop?
Well, before I moved to France, when I was 13, there was an opera troupe that came to my junior high school, and I was just blown away. It was either La Traviata or La Bohème. I don't know which one it was, Verdi, Puccini, but the soprano just like, she blew my mind away. I was like, I want to do that. Because as an overachiever, because I know I'm a recovering one, but still, okay, I was like that, the hardest type of singing ever, so that's what I chose. And at 13, I auditioned for a program near my school, near my house, sorry, and I did that. And they prepared me for maybe a year and a half later for a high school, performing arts high school. Now, people who are watching, okay, I'm a fame baby. Remember my name? I'm a fame baby, okay? So when I heard there was a performing arts high school, I was like, I gotta try. I have to try. And I tried, and they took me. And I was like, whoa. And the phrase that stayed with me was, you have potential. And so it's there. It was there. Fine. So I get into the school and I struggle because I can't read regular books, properly. Go try reading sheet music. It was horrid. It was just horrid. But I was so lucky to have a wonderful teacher, Dr. Lynn Gackle. That woman is a saint. She would stay with me after class and help me. And my voice teacher, she taught me to be strong. She was tough, but she kept telling me, you can do it, focus. And I'm like, oh. I was terrified of her, but in retrospect, that you can do it, focus was important. But I had weak foundation, because just as much as I wanted to be in front of people, I was terrified at the idea of not being good enough. So that has always been at the heart of my performance anxiety. So a real person who wants to achieve will push past it. So I tried to push past it. I did the best that I could, but it was very hard. And then I ended up coming to France to study at the conservatory in Toulouse. And that was the nail in my coffin, because as a high achiever, I was like, I'm going to that school. Did I ask if I was ready to go to that school? No. I'm going to that school. So I flew from Miami with my dad, and I hadn't even auditioned. I filled in the papers saying that I wanted to come. And then I said, okay, fine, come. I came, and they said, you're not in. What? I'm not what? And I was just like, no. What am I going to do? But they took pity on me. They're like, that girl came all the way from Miami to come to our school. Okay, we'll take her. So I had a teacher who will remain nameless, who just put the nail in the coffin, Oh, you are horrible. You cannot sing. It's not possible. With all the other feelings that I already had about how I wasn't good enough. And that was just, yeah. And
Two things on
yes.
that. Two things. So first, where did this whole fear of not being good enough come from?
Mildred, you want to go there, huh?
I
Yes.
do. I
Yes, you want to?
do.
Okay. Well, it comes from, when you're raised in a family where you're just not good enough. Either you're a doctor or a lawyer, everything else is nothing. And if you're going to be a singer or a musician, you have to be famous like the grandfather. Now, these were not things that were necessarily said. It was just understood. When you come from an immigrant family and you go to America, you are supposed to succeed. There is no other way. Failure is not an option. So that pressure it's enormous for a child. It's enormous for a teen. It's enormous for a young woman. So I would eat to compensate. And so then I was like, oh, I'm fat, so I'm not good enough. Look at that. It just was a vicious cycle of never good enough. And then I had an eating disorder where I just starved myself to be good enough. And it just never was. It just never was. The only thing that was good enough was that I was a kind person. It sounds cheesy in a world of psychopaths and sociopaths, but I was kind. I was kind. And I did love to be with people. So when I started teaching people, I could get out of my not enoughness and give that kindness to them, give what I thought I was missing. You see? So
Yeah. Okay. So I get that. Was it ever explicitly said though to you by your parents or anyone in your family that you've got to do better? Because you sound like you're raised in a Nigerian household. Listen, African parents is like the options. Yes, lawyer, doctor, accountant. I was meant to be a lawyer, growing up, and that didn't quite work out.
yes, yes.
So was that ever said to you, or was
It was
it just
said.
what you
It was
picked
said.
up?
It was said. But
Okay.
because I love my parents, because I love my family, I wouldn't. This is the first time I would be saying it out loud. Tough love broke me. You know, when you say to your child, "You're fat, lazy, stupid," what do you do with those words? You keep them. And they are with you the whole time. I did a post about Maria Callas, who, brilliant on stage, fabulous woman, but yet was still had that image of the fat girl with the glasses, never good enough. And that is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. And because I never wanted other people to suffer from that, I said, okay, what can I do so others don't feel like that? But it's heartbreaking. It is. It is.
I can totally understand. I've got two young girls, 5 and 6, so I understand the importance of what you say to them, especially when they're young. Kids are sponges; they just soak it all up, it all up. So yeah, Kim saying, yeah, we internalize these words. We do internalize those words, absolutely. And Cecilia can relate and know that emotion. And yeah, thanks for the honesty. It is something a lot of us, experienced at one point, whether consciously said or not, this whole feeling of needing to be good enough or better or something like that. So
well, I had to be perfect. I mean, in my mind, there was nothing less than perfection, because perfection would equal success. Success would mean they're happy and I'm the best daughter ever. You see? I'm worthy of love. And I'm not, let's just get this very clear. I'm not blaming my parents. I'm explaining that core issue. Fat, ugly, fat. No, but I was never ugly because I was always cute. But
we know.
Fat, stupid, and lazy. Those are the so lazy, always worked my butt off, just to prove, and I worked to burn out. And because you're a journalist and I see how you are, Mildred, you're trying to get to the core of it. I got you. Okay. Yes. I drove myself to ill, trying to be the best. I worked myself to death. I did, to death, to the ego death, to the sick self, to proving. Look at me, love me. I'm awesome. Look at me, And that was I ain't doing that no good. No, been there, done that. That is why mental fitness, not mental health, mental fitness. I don't play. I don't play. When I'm tired, I'm like, y'all step aside. I gotta, I just don't play with my mental capacities. So I meditate. I read inspirational things. Anyway, I'm going too fast, but yes, I do not play with my mental fitness and my self-care. I don't play.
Oh, absolutely important. Okay, so you're in this school, this French school. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce the name of this school that
It's
you're
a conservatory.
in.
Yes.
Yes. So that one, right? And then so the pressure's there, and this teacher's like, piling on the pressure and all of that. So what happens? How long were you in that school for? How long did you quit at some point, or what happened next?
Well, I ended up in the hospital, so there was just.
How old were you?
I was 24, 23, 24. It was the year Princess Di died. And I just had a breakdown. And I ended up in the hospital. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. And what turned out to be a horrible asthma attack. I couldn't breathe. And so the doctor gave me corticoids, like steroids. You don't give steroids to somebody who is stressed out of her mind. But he didn't know that. He didn't know. And I didn't know that I was going to implode. So that chemical reaction and my just like, I have to succeed in that pressure. And it was a pressure cooker from the time I started singing to that very moment where it just went, And I had to get my act together. And there was a point where my boyfriend, who became my husband, who's now my ex-husband, said, yes, I'm dramatica. I'm an opera person, yes. So he was 25 and he had to think, what do I do? Do I send her back to her family? Do I keep her? And I stayed with him, and he took, did the best he could to take care of me, and I did the best I could with all this. You're in like a haze. You don't know your life has just exploded. You don't know what to do with yourself. And then after we got married, and I ended up in New York, and then in New York, I had to figure out: do I live or do I die? What are we doing? Because your dream of being an opera star has just exploded all over you. What do you do?
So literally, that was the end of your career. So that breakdown. So what did they say? You don't come back. We don't want you, or was it for yourself? You knew that I can't keep. Doing
I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Yeah, because I couldn't fathom. Because at that point it was semi-professional. So I was doing little roles and auditioning a little bit, but I just couldn't take the pressure because. Perfect, not perfect enough, not perfect enough, not perfect enough. Just kept, it was like the leitmotif, not perfect enough, not perfect enough, not perfect enough. It was just, I couldn't get away from it. And I was in this haze and with the medication and just, I suck, you're horrible, what do you do? And when I literally say, do you live or die? It's because I was living in New York. And I would watch the trains go by and I would think, do I live or do I die? What are we doing? And it's, I've never said this out loud, so thanks, visibility. And I decided I'm going to live. So I was like, okay, the only thing I know how to do is go to the library and get a book. I went to the library and I got a book, and it was the Dalai Lama. It was a book, a Buddhist book. And that's when I started meditating. That's when I started yoga. That saved my life. And all the while I was teaching, I was giving voice lessons. All the while I was going to work. Those little functional people that like, yeah. But you're inside, you're like, that A train is looking really nice right about now.
And did you tell your parents? Like, how did they react when everything ended?
Okay. let's flip this for a second. Would you tell your Nigerian parents that the A train is looking nice to you? Of course not. No. The answer is
Yeah.
no. The
But
answer
did you
is
tell them about the opera singing? Okay, this I'm not gonna be an opera singer anymore. This is it. We'll come to the end of the road. Did you tell them that?
I
Did you?
I don't remember if I actually said that. I think maybe I don't know. I can't remember exactly what I said. I think I didn't because I signed, what do you call that? I went to work at the Met selling opera subscriptions, and then I was a telemarketing manager, and I was still taking voice lessons. I signed up to do a master's in jazz because I was like, okay, I can't do opera, but I can do jazz. So I think I was keeping maybe an illusion of I'm okay, everything's good, I'm gonna sing again, but deep down inside, I'm not perfect enough, I'm not perfect enough, I'm not perfect enough, was still, going on my head.
How many years did that last?
The I'm not perfect enough?
So no, from the time you had the breakdown to leaving France, going back to the States, thinking that life is over. What on earth do I do now? And all this haze of the medication. How long did that
Okay,
period
so
of your life last?
I think it was about 2 or 3 years. What I because I don't remember by year, but I remember by event. So it was the World Trade Center event happened, and so I think I got to States in 1998, and then World Trade happened. And when World Trade happened, my husband had gone back to France because we were rocky, and then I had another choice. It's like, are you coming to France or are you going to stay in the United States? And I was making money, so I was like, I'm staying in the United States. I'm making money. I'm not going. I'm not going back. But I was married, so I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna go back. And when I got back, I had my baby girl. Yeah, and she was another lifesaver. And when you have children, you can't be talking. You can't be thinking about the A train. You have kids. You've got to focus on your kids. But nonetheless, I just felt like a failure because what I wanted, I couldn't get. I wanted to be an opera star. I didn't want anything else. I didn't want to be married. I don't want to have kids. I wanted to be an opera star. I felt like I was settling. It sounds bad, but there was a part of me that felt like I was settling, and I could never appreciate this awesome husband, and I'm going to have this baby. And I was just like, you failure, you failure. It was tough now that I'm thinking about it. It was tough. It was tough.
I can totally imagine. Yeah, yeah. So you walk into the library. First, why a library? And then second, you pick up this book, the Stella Lima book, and Sandra, I think that's the question she's asking, like, why that book? Why specifically? Did you go for that book or did it just catch your attention when you were in there?
No, I went to the library because that's where I always would go to find answers because I wasn't in my culture. There are things you don't talk about, so I wouldn't just naturally go to my parents and say, hey, can you tell me about, sex or life and this and that? No. I would go to the library, and that's where I would find my info. But this seemed like I needed something spiritual. And when I got sick, I was like, God, you and I were through. We are so done. So I was like, I'm going to become a Buddhist. That's what I'm going to do. And at the time, that's people were into yoga. This is the 90s, so people were into yoga, meditation. So I was like, okay, let me just go to the library, pick up a book. Ooh, who's overachiever? Who's the best Buddhist ever? The Dalai Lama. So that's why I picked up the book. Yeah. And that book say I'm trying to think of the name. I can't remember right now, but yeah.
Okay, so you had a faith before then? If you're saying God was done, did you have a faith that
I loved God. I loved
Okay.
God so much. When I was a kid, I would talk to God. I would laugh with God. I loved God. I just the notion. Well, to me, there were clouds, but I would lie on my back and I'd be giggling with God. I just loved God. Just loved it. Just the idea, because when I was sad or not good, I could talk to God. I loved God, the idea of it. So I was crushed. I was like, you did what to me? You let me get sick like that? You let my dream die? Dramatica. Again, dramatica, Yeah, and I was like, you and I, we're done. We're so done. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was hard too, because when you lose your faith, you lose your way.
Are you two still done?
Well, we're on speaking terms. We're on speaking terms, yes. We're because I was a hardcore atheist. People would say just the word God, and I was like, blah, blah. I was ready to spit. I was just Jesus. My daughter said to me, she was 6 years old. Sorry, little story. We were in the car. We had gone to some Christmas event, and somebody was talking about Jesus. And I was like, we gotta go. Let's go. And she's like, Mom. She gets into the car. She was like, Mommy, why are you mad at Jesus? What did he do to you? And I was like, she was 6. And she was like, are you mad at Jesus? And then
They are so perceptive at that age. So perceptive.
She was 6. She was 6. And she was like, what's wrong? What did Jesus do to you? Kind of thing. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you pick up this book, you're in the library, you're mad at Jesus, and then you fall in love with the Dalai Lama, of Buddhism.
Well, meditation and yoga, yeah.
Okay, so how did that then work into so you went into, were you were teaching singing lessons
always,
at this time, but you hadn't started teaching English to French.
Exactly, right. I didn't start teaching, I didn't start teaching English until I had my daughter, so very lucky to have had her in France, because I stayed home for 11 months with my daughter. So this is I was so grateful. But then my husband was like, you need a job. And I was like, I don't need no job. So just the necessity for a job. He was like, okay. I said, but I'm a singer. I don't know how to do anything else. He's like, yeah, you're a singer. Okay, fine. But you are an Anglophone living in the aviation hub of France. Go get a job. And I was like, okay, fine. So I went in. I got the job right away, because I've always been very good about getting jobs. Not easy peasy, get in, you get the job. And I was very lucky that the first job I was working with high level executives, engineers, because I was teaching English for the people who work at the French NASA. So they were brilliant, high IQ people. And this is where things started to shift, because I was like, hold on, wait a minute, let me get some sense into this. These people don't have confidence? What? Are you kidding me? I was just like, I couldn't. It's like, I'm so terrible. I cannot speak the English. It's so. And I was like, okay, look, we're gonna focus. You got this. That little voice that's telling you that you suck, don't listen to it. Let's focus. Let's do this. Come on, And I was like, that's what I needed when I was terrified, when I was saying fat, ugly, all these. I didn't know how to shut that voice off and be like, focus, hit that high C. I was like, I'm gonna miss that high C. I'm gonna miss that high C. Oh my God. I missed the high C. Of course you would miss a high C when you're saying how awful you are. Of course you're gonna miss a high C, but you won't hit that high C if you're like focused, got the breath going. I'm there. Of course not. So that's where the tough love kind of from my education came in, because I was like, I'm a tough love teacher. My students know. I'm not playing. But there's love. There is compassion. I understand that there's suffering. I understand that there's a negative voice that needs to be hushed. I'm not saying talk bad to it. I'm just like, let it float by. But that takes mental fitness. That takes, working it out. You got to work it out. You can't see my biceps, but you got to work that out, And that gave me the opportunity. That was the first real click over. And then I was like, I'm brilliant at teaching. This comes so easily to me, because I had always taught, but focusing on people's I'm not good enoughness. And giving them the grammatical structure and the vocabulary. I was like, this is awesome. I love this. Definitely love this. And then I became a coach, because I realized it wasn't just about the present perfect. It's not about the vocabulary. It's about that I'm not good enough to make this major presentation to get the $1 million deal, with some other aviation company, So that was the deal. And I was like, I don't know how to do. instinctually, intuitively, let's say, knew focus. But I was like, there must be more than just focus. So I went to coaching academy, and I got my coaching degree. And then I was ever since. So it's been 13 years. So I work for myself. I'm an educator coach who sings and who writes and who brings all of her dramatica into the class to make people awesome. That's what I do.
I love that. I love that. And so I'm going to read this here from Dr. Chiba. Thank you for your honesty, transparency. When faced with major adversities and shattered dreams, many people experience a crisis of faith. And that's what you had, wasn't it? A crisis of faith. So would you describe it in that way?
Well, now that God and I are on speaking terms, it was more than that. It was a crisis of identity. It was an identity crisis. The faith was, how can I explain this? I was raised Catholic. I was raised to believe in God. And so when everything scattered, I was obliged to reconstruct myself. And so I was like, I don't need God. He wasn't there to help me. I need reason. I need logic. You see? But that only got me so far. And meditation got me into a state of calm, into a state of silence, where I was listening for the inner voice of wisdom. So some people call it God. I call it our innate wise mind, inner voice. And this we all have. And in my coaching practice, this is the first step, to stop and listen for that wise, that innate wisdom, that voice that knows you're spectacular, that voice that knows you can do it. Not the one that other voice that taught you that you can't, that taught you that you're fat, that taught you that you're lazy, that taught you. Because we all, unfortunately, in our societies have those, but not all societies have these negative voices. No.
Oh, okay. I get that. Yeah. And for a lot of people, faith and identity is tied up in one. So that makes sense. And Stella says, that she can relate in terms of having similar feelings.
Is that my 7-foot giant? Is that my 7-foot giant,
That is the
Stella?
7-foot giant. She is right here.
Yes.
I love it. So I want you to bring us up to date to where you are now in your career. But it's kind of, so you discover in education. So whereas in opera singing, it was like, you're not good enough, you need to be perfect. So now in education, you said you found something that you were brilliant at.
Yeah,
how did that feel on the inside for you?
Awesome. It feels like, I can never say his name, but the author of The Flow, okay? Where when I was teaching, I wasn't in my own pain. I was in the flow. I was helping somebody else get out of theirs so I could focus on helping them move forward, you see? And so when you're not ego-centered or self-centered and you open, this is what I call the engagement part of it, then you're just doing what you're meant to do. And for me, coaching and teaching, that brings meaning to my life. And here I have to say what the second twist is that in 2010, there was an earthquake in Haiti. There was just another one. But in 2010, there was an earthquake in Haiti. And this is where I had put my scores away. I wasn't singing anymore. From time to time I would, but I had a rock band when I got divorced because I was so mad. So I joined a rock band. I was in a different band, but where my voice, this is for Kim, where my voice became a bold voice is when I used my singing voice for a cause. And that just, wow. And I was like, okay, now I'm ready to sing. I'm ready to sing. I'm ready to coach. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to bring it. I got this. So ever since then, that is where maybe, I don't know who said it about a crisis of faith. My faith was that compassion, helping people. It got all into a sense of meaning. Why did I spend all those years learning to sing? What was it for? I can use my voice, earn money, raise funds and help people. Oh, okay. That's cool. I got that. All right, I can do that. And then it gave meaning to my singing because unfortunately I never sang for pleasure. I sang to prove that I was worthy. So
Is that when Diva Coach was born?
Ah, Diva Coach, yes! Hello, everybody! Imagine me blonde, yes. Oh, yes, that exactly.
I wish I had the picture to put up on
Oh,
screen,
yes,
right?
that's worth seeing. Yes, and that is when Diva Coach was born. Diva Coach was a way for me to, again, my brother was the impetus of this. He's like, you need to do a one woman show. I was like, one woman show. He's a seed planter. He plants seeds. And I was like, a one woman show? Can I do that? Of course. Yeah, I can do that. 3 nights later, my show was written. I was just like, okay. Then I was like, I need to find the director, the music, the lights, and then I went into like this crazy mode. And I think in 6 months time we did it. And the first one was to raise money for Haiti. And Diva Coach she was spectacular. I loved her. But I also knew I didn't want to be her. She's not me. I didn't want to spend another 10 years in stilettos with a blonde wig. I did want to be me. And of course, this is all in retrospect. I didn't know it at the time. So that was 2000. So 2010 was the first one. And then I did a couple of things. And then the long show was in 2015. And I was going on stage. Oh, there she is.
There she is. I'm gonna show her for a second. There we go. There. Where is she? How can I show her without showing us? Ah, that is annoying. But
there
if
she
you can
is.
see that blonde woman in the background, there's Diva Coach. I'm gonna see if I can figure out another way. Keep talking. Go on.
So, and for me, what was wonderful about Diva Coach is that she was a coach and she was a diva, hence the name. So I got to combine everything that I loved, and I sung Casta Diva in it. I did Rocky in it, and there she is.
There she is. There she is.
In all her splendor. That's Diva Coach, yeah. And
Okay, cool.
it was such a healing process. It was a real healing process. And I did start praying up about then. Yeah. So Diva Coach showed me that I could bring everything together, but I was still hiding under the blonde wig. I was still hiding. There was still that not good enough. You're still fat. You're still fat. You work hard, so you're not lazy, but you're still fat. So you're not perfect, and that's not opera. That's other stuff. I was writing my own music, for God's sake, and it still wasn't enough. So yeah.
When did you stop hiding?
When I decided to come on LinkedIn. Yes.
Love the transition. Tell us about it.
Tell us about it. Again, my brother planted a seed and he's like, you need to go find your people. And I was like, okay. So I had just finished writing a novel and I was like, okay, I got my business. I got the novel. How do I promote them? I know nothing about promotion because Diva Coach, I didn't know how to promote it. All of these talents and never knew how to leverage them. But you can't leverage talent if you're hiding it. Don't hide your talent under a bushel. That's a Bible verse, I think. Something Bible. And so I decided that I'm going to be 50. And for 50, Dramatica, it's fabulous 50. It's not just 50, it's fabulous 50. And so fabulous 50, I got to own all this. I can't, no. It has to be like, who does she think she is? Francie. That's who I am. That kind of, and I'm ready to own that. So I get onto LinkedIn and I see this smiley face and this says, stop DIYing. You can't DIY. That was the first video I saw. I was like, who is this woman? So and then I was like, okay, who is this woman that's always in my feed? And I was like, she's a visibility coach. And I said, okay, I'm going to do that. visibility. I'm gonna get visible. Yeah, people need to know about this fabulosa. Okay, let's go. That's how I got here.
I love it. What was going on the inside of you? So as you start this process of being visible on LinkedIn, so now you're showing up as Franzie, not Franzie the opera singer, not Franzie diva coach. It's just Franzie the mental fitness self-care coach. How was that process for you?
Okay, now you know I love alliteration, so vulnerability has two V's for me. It's visibility has two V's: vulnerability and value. So I had to decide that bring it. I'm strong enough. I got this. And the value is that I have value and I know my worth. So bring it, you know. And that was Stella, my 7 foot giant. Yes. When she was like, I'm 7 feet tall, I was like, I want to be 7 feet tall too, you know. That seeing that season 3 and all the women, and it's just, I was like, wow, where have I been? Oh, you've been hiding, right, you know. And is it scary? Yeah, because I've been having some calls. There are a couple scary people out there, you know. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be part of your cult. No, thank you. But I would not have met all these wonderful women had I kept hiding, had I not decided to be visible. Being visible has also made me, what's the word, ancré, stand in my voice. There is my voice, but stand in it, stand behind it, you know, like belt it out, you know. And this is where my little song comes in, if I may. Yes, if I may.
Oh, you more than may. I've been waiting for this all evening.
There's a song I love, and it's a simple song, and everybody knows it. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Of course, a little dramatica. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
We have to let our light shine. When we let our light shine, we can light somebody else's path. You know? Shine bright, shine right. And so I had to be ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. And working with you has helped me be ready for that. It's even helped me accept that, yeah, I am a busty, round woman who's fabulous. That's just how it is. I'm a busty, round woman who's fabulous, you know. And I will be able to let go of that last word that's been lingering from childhood. I apologize. I have a toddler. And I wasn't expecting. I didn't think that being visible would being visible and owning the voice and owning the vulnerability and owning the value of it would also get me to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna own all of it. I'm gonna own all of it. You know.
Absolutely, and I love how you're owning it. I love how you're owning it on LinkedIn in this conversation. You are owning this thing, Francie. Right. You are owning it. So, which is absolutely beautiful. So, I know there's some ladies watching this either live right now on replay, and they're thinking, I want to own my voice. I want to own my visibility. I want to stop hiding. What would you say to them?
Help care. Let me explain. There is a gap between what you want and how you get it. And what I realized when I was working with those first engineers who were like rich, you know, but they didn't have confidence in themselves. And I was like, hold on a second. How can I help them elevate and liberate their potential? And I was like, And I was just doing it. And then 2 years ago, I was in Barcelona, Spain, and I was writing my coaching book. It's back there somewhere. And I said, okay, to get the gap from intention to realization, you need four things. You need courage, you need action, you need responsibility, and you need engagement. And because I have no memory, I have to make it easy to remember. It's help care. And this is a little of that tough, compassionate love that says, you want something? Do you have the courage to go and get it? Okay? And if that means I want to take a break, do you have the courage to take that break? Are you ready to lose some money because you're working so hard for, are you ready for to change your husband if necessary? Okay? I'm not saying to do these things, but I'm saying is you have to first ask yourself, how can I honor, elevate, and liberate my potential for personal power? Because this is what it is. This is what it is. And to do that, I have to have courage. I need to be in some sort of action. And if I'm in too much action because I'm overwhelmed, then I need to stop the action. Take a breather, right? But all of that is your responsibility, nobody else's. So then that means, this is going to sound harsh, you cannot remain a victim. Things are not happening to you. Okay? Unless you want them to. Now, I'm not talking about pandemic. I'm not talking about war. Okay, but even in times of war, now I'm going to talk about somebody I love very much. His work, Viktor Frankl. Okay, man's search for meaning. He was in the camps, and he's like, "What is it that the Nazis cannot take away from me? They can't take away what I think, how I think." I was like, wow. Okay. And once you have the courage, you're in the action or the inaction because you're pausing and you take full responsibility, then you must engage with life. You can't stay in your corner, hence the visibility. Hence engaging with other people who could use what you have. Now, I know I don't know everything. I'm so aware of the fact that I don't know everything, but what I do know is valuable to somebody. It's got to be valuable to somebody. Just as you are valuable to somebody innately. This is a given. So.
Love it. And I think, that is indeed the appropriate response, Natasha. A round of applause. And thank you. And absolutely. So many things. Oh my God, so many things to touch on there that you said. But yes, Cecilia wants to own her own voice. Yes. Absolutely. Do it. Own
DM me, Cecilia. Voice. DM me, girl.
Listen, connect.
There's Kim.
Connect. Kim is here, Kim. Owning her bold voice. Yes. Absolutely. So there's just so much about what you said there. And we've only got like a minute left, but that healthcare system that you do, all of that is that is priceless. And I think a lot of the ladies listening to this, watching on replay, seriously, go and plug into Franzie's work, go and plug into her work, talk about her coaching, whatever it is that you need to do to start owning your voice in your space. Franzie can help with that. So with that said, in the last 30 seconds, I know you do have your book. We can kind of see it there behind you. So what do you, your book is called Potential is Boundless, right?
This is the mini book. This is the, just so people get a feel for the program. But the program is an 8-week or a 4-week program where, we really go through the material of honor, elevate, liberate your potential for personal power with courage, action, responsibility, and engagement. Yes.
Fantastic. What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
LinkedIn.
If you had said anywhere else, you were about to get into trouble.
I'm not getting myself into any trouble. LinkedIn, DM me, send me a message. It will be with much pleasure to be in contact with you. Yes, LinkedIn, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Connect with Franzie on LinkedIn.
Yes,
Yes, and
yes.
let her know you saw her on the show. Let her know you saw Invisible Woman so she knows you're not one of those strangers, those random people that there are on LinkedIn. Only a few though, only a few, just a few random people. But Franzie, that was absolutely beautiful in every way. The conversation, the what you shared with us, the vulnerability, opening up, and of course the singing. It's we had it all here. We have a singing life coach, educator, everything all in
Thank
one
you so
session.
much,
So
Mildred.
thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you for making it easy for me to open up because I don't do that very often. So thank you so much.
Oh, that is wonderful. So we're
All
gonna
right.
love you and leave you, but I know if you get some time later, go through the comments. There's loads of things people have said in there that I couldn't
Awesome.
pull up on the screen. But have an awesome night, and everyone, please go and connect with Francie. Go find her on LinkedIn. Go connect, and then
Thank
she
you,
can also share
ladies.
with you links to her music as well, which is
Oh, yeah.
absolutely awesome.
Thank
So
you so much.
yeah. But thank you, Francie. Have a good night, and we will see you back on LinkedIn. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Okay, wow, 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 wow. It's bang on 7 o'clock, so we do have to round up the show. But I don't know about you, but that was I love that. Absolutely love that conversation with Francie. She is so feel it off the screen, and so everything there. I want you to drop in the comments your key takeaway from this episode. What struck with you? What was the light bulb moment? What did you like the most? Because I like to do like a summary also of the takeaway. So I want to know what you took from it, and what, even more important than that, what are you going to do as a result of this conversation? What has it inspired you to do? What has it motivated you to do? How will you start owning your voice? How will you start being visible, on LinkedIn? How will you start sharing your story? So just drop your takeaway in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I want to invite you to join us back here, because we're still for season 4 of Visible Woman on LinkedIn is happening. So we've got the next episode is on Thursday, the 26th of August. So that is next Thursday, right? That's next Thursday. I've got another guest, and then we've got another show after that. Then season 4 is wrapped. So make sure you do not miss it. Be back here next Thursday at 6 o'clock BST, British Summer Time, the same time here. And bring a woman who needs to be inspired and motivated, right? Bring her with you, tag her, bring her with you in the show. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I want you to go reach out to Franzie on LinkedIn, connect with her, plug into the work that she does as a coach, and everything else that she's about. And you will not regret it one bit. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you again here on this couch, on this couch. We call it sofa in the UK, but on this couch next Thursday. Thank you for the tips. Yes, Cecilia says, I am valuable. That's a takeaway. Yes, you are. Bethan, love the visibility, to keep creating visibility. Absolutely. Dr. Chiva, awesome. Thank you. You are awesome. You are all awesome. I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a good night, a good afternoon, a good evening, whichever one it is, wherever you are. And we will see you back here next Thursday. Take care.